אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יהללוך סלה. אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יהללוך סלה. אשרי, אשרי, אשרי יושבי ביתך. אשרי, אשרי, אשרי יושבי ביתך. Happy are those who dwell in your house, they will sing your praises forever. Happy are those who dwell in your house, they will sing your praises forever.
Good Shabbos. Are you there? Good Shabbos. All right, we know that you're here. I'm Rabbi Sanford Axelrod. This is Cantor Jessica Hutchings. We welcome you to Congregation Ner Tamid. We do not have a Havdalah Bat Mitzvah very often. I think this is maybe the second one this year and probably the third or fourth one in 30 years. It's something that we've introduced. So it is an especially beautiful occasion. So normally I would say every week at this time people would come to see the rabbi and cantor, but I can't say that because it's not every week. It's unique and very, very special. But with frequency we are here, and I'm going to prove it to you. They came all the way from Minnesota. Who's here from Minnesota? All right. How about all the way from Texas? The Texans, all right. Remember I taught you last night. Okay. What is the Texan greeting for Shabbat? All right. Give them a round of applause.
That's not just for Shabbat, that's anytime.
There you go. They learned it. Shalom y'all. That's right. And if you were from Hawaii, what would it be, Danny? Do you know? Close. Shaloha. Shaloha. That's right. So I don't have any more puns on Shalom.
I have so many. I should get a book going and then we'll just use them. I have so many. I used like 3 this morning.
So this is not Rabbi and Cantor's comedy hour, but sometimes it is. So I'm looking out at this group. How many of you, is this your first time perhaps at a Jewish service? Raise your hand. Anyone? A few, raise them a little higher. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the service so you might appreciate it a little bit more. And here we go. So where we are standing is a stage or platform. In our religious tradition, we don't call it an altar, we call it a bima, which is a Hebrew word for stage or platform. And right behind me, you'll see this curtain-like structure. That is our ark, or in Hebrew, Aron HaKodesh. Some synagogues use wood or another type of material other than metal, and ours decided to make a fabric ark. And whenever it is open, we stand as a sign of respect because behind the curtains are our Torah scrolls. And we will invite those of you who've never seen a Torah scroll up close to come on up and see it probably in the middle of the service. Up above, you'll see a light that is always on. That is our Ner Tamid, which is the Hebrew word meaning for eternal light. And it reminds us that God is always with us. And up above is a quote from the Torah, which says, "O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of God." In front of you, or as you walked in, you should have been given a prayer book. And you'll notice that the prayer book is written in Hebrew and in English, and also transliteration. So we hope that you can follow along. The book will open from right to left because Hebrew is read from right to left. So before we have our quiz, no quiz, we have to further your education a little bit. And I have brought the world-class world-famous teacher, to turn you into Torah scholars. Are you ready? They're not
get more famous every time you announce me.
They're not that confident.
They're really not.
Are you ready? Yes. Okay. I mean, she came all the way from around the world. Here we go.
Around the other door over there. All right. So normally I teach you a nigun. Nigun is a wordless melody, and we use the same one. If you've been to a bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah here, you've heard it before. But I'm going to shake it up because we're not using that prayer today because we're in our afternoon service into our evening service. And so I'll teach you a different melody for our nigun. So the first part is the hardest part, the word nigun. Can you say the word nigun? Beautiful. And again, hardest part. It just means wordless melody. So ya la 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 la, or however you want to say that. So I'm going to teach you one that I'm going to sing a piece of it, and then I'm going to have you sing a piece of it back. So I'll sing it first, so you hear how it goes. Yai da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 ya da da ya da da. So now I'm going to sing a piece, you sing it back. Yai da 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 da. Your turn. Yai da 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 da. 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 Ya da da ya da da. Ya da da. Now let's try it together and see if we can go a little faster. Here we go. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da da. Ya da da ya da da. One more time. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da da ya da da. It has a second part. Since we're not teaching Nisim B'chol Yom today, I got to teach the second part of the nigun. So it goes. Ya da da ya da da ya da da ya da da. Can you try that? It starts up here. Ya da da ya da da ya da da ya da da. Good. Ya da 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 da. Let's see how talented you are. I want to see. Ya da da da. Oh, it was close. It was close. Okay. Yeah. It's not that high. All right. Ya da da 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 ya da da. One more time. Ya da da ya da da ya da da ya da da ya da ya da da. Try that last part. Ya da ya da da da. Should we try the whole thing and see if we got it? You don't seem very confident. I think we just need to do it again and then you'll feel good about it. Okay. Here we go. Okay, you know what? Maybe if we add the hand motions, it'll help you. Then you can connect your eye to your hands. Let's do it. So I learned this from a colleague and mentor, Rabbi Mintz, and I really liked it. And the reason it's silly, but in a little bit, in a few minutes when Bayla starts the service, you'll have a chance to do more Jewish choreography or Jewography. And so we do it because it helps bring us a little joy. And this prayer or this song that we're learning, even though it doesn't have words, the words that do go with it are about serving God with gladness. So you take your thumb and you go like this. Can you do this? And then go the other way. I know that was like a dance in the 50s, but here we go. Ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Now the second part goes like this. Ya da da 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 ya da da ya da da ya da da ya da da. Ya da ya da da da. See, you sang it better. At least Rabbi did. That was good. All right, thanks. Now you're warmed up. We're warmed up. We're good.
I think they're Hasidim now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Torah scholars, Hasidim, wherever you are, whatever you are, let's make this a joyful, wonderful service. So, what do we have up? What do you think? Tallest presentation?
I think we should give her talit. I think that would be awesome.
So wrapped around my shoulders is a variation of a prayer shawl known as a talit or a tallis, and it harkens back to biblical days when Jews wore tunic-like garments, and at the corner were fringes, reminders to do good and loving deeds. So we call upon our bat mitzvah and her parents. Where'd they go? Here we go.
Bayla, you were named after my grandmother, Betty. I told you I wasn't going to do this. It feels just like yesterday that we stood here on this same bima and celebrated your baby naming. You have demonstrated so much grit, hard work, and dedication to your Jewish studies. It is an honor to see you carry on the traditions of your namesake and your ancestors through this ceremony and your involvement in our Jewish community. We are so proud of the young woman that you have become and look forward to seeing you continue to grow.
Yes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehi atef batzitzit. Amen.
Over her head. Fix her hair. Send her hugging. She goes forward. Snuggle.
Does it feel okay?
Yes. Please join me on page 342 for the Hatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba Be'alma divrachute yamlit mahute B'chayechon uvyomechon uvhayedechol Beit Yisrael Bagala bagala uvizman kariv ve'imeru amen Yehi shmei Rabba mevora le'al umel Yitbara Yitbara v'yishtaba v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei kudasha brichu le'la mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'ne'emata damiram be'oma ve'imeru amen. We read together on page 343. There are times when the love of God burns so powerfully within your heart that the words of prayer seem to rush forth quickly and without deliberation. At such times, it's not yourself who speaks. Rather, it's through you that the words are spoken. We rise for the Amidah on pages 344 to 350. Adonai, Sefai Taif Tivta, Ufia Gitehilateha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'hanora El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim v'konei hakol v'zoher hatzeyavot v'imaot umevi givula livnei v'nehem Limon shemo be'aba Mele uzera umashia umagain Baruch atah Adonai Magain Avraham v'zerat Sarah Gibor leolam Adonai Mechaye hakol Atah Rav leoshia Morid hatal Mehakel hayim bechesed Mehaye hakol berachamim ramim Somech nofim verofei holim Umatir rasurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Micha mocha ba'agiverot Umidomela Melech mimit Umechaye Umatmiya Yeshua Man atale hayoyot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hakol
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו, אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה.
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
At this time, we skip back to the Yismahu on page 250, and I invite my B'nai Mitzvah class to join me. You may be seated.
All right, so as they're making their way up, this is their favorite part of the service, and they're very excited to share this dance with you. It's actually my favorite part of the service, but in all seriousness, so as I shared, this prayer is about oneg, about the delight that Shabbat brings us. And when we dance it out, you have to admit, you have a little bit more joy in your life. So we're going to dance it out because it brings us joy. And the thing is, it's going to bring you joy to watch them dance it out. But here's the catch. It brings them joy to watch you dance it out, so you have to do it too. So it goes like this. We're going to demonstrate it for you with smiles. Okay, here we go. Ready? Yismechu. You do what we do. I promise in 3 minutes, when it's over, you're going to feel better if you participate. Okay? Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. That's the whole thing. You do it 8 times. And part of the choreography is to smile. You won't feel the joy if you don't smile. All right, I think we're ready, Eddie. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mikadashei Shvi Shabbat Kulam Yisbe'u V'yitangu mituvecha Shabbat Shabbat Yismechu V'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat V'korei oneg Shabbat Yismechu V'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat v'hashvir ratzita bo v'kidashta Shabbat chemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Here we go. Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Zecher l'maaseh v'reshit Shabbat Zecher l'maaseh v'reshit Shabbat. Last 2 times. Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat. Big ending. V'korei oneg Shabbat. Thanks, guys. See, you feel better than you did before you started dancing, huh? Just a little bit, but you feel it. And if you didn't do it, I'm sorry for you. You guys can go now.
We read responsively on page 353 at the bottom. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise.
For the peace in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For the gift of Shabbat, which renews us for life, we offer blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
My sister Davi will now lead us in a prayer of gratitude on page 357.
For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we and all we yet might become, for the creative seed sown within our minds, for those nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts, we thank you, O God, and pray that we've proven ourselves worthy. May our lives be ripe with fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to this world.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha l'chaneh elehodot.
We continue in silent prayer.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Well, again, good Shabbos, everyone. So in a few moments, the bat mitzvah and her parents will make our way to the ark. Our curtains will be open, and you'll see several Torahs. We'll take one of the Torahs out, and that will be the one that Bayla will read from. Could be any of them. So I want to just share with you a little bit about the Torah and the Torah portion, and then later on in a few moments, we'll invite you to come up and actually see the Torah. So the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible, what Christians might call, the Old Testament Jews call the Tanakh, or the Bible, first 5 books. And all the Torahs are the same. They've just been donated over the years. And as you open it, you'll see all of the Hebrew writing, and you'll see that it is almost all the way to the end of the scroll, because as all clergy know, in a few weeks it will be the high holidays. No pressure, no pressure. So,
Never stops getting scary.
that's right. After the end of the high holidays, we take that Torah scroll and we rewind it. We take it all the way to the beginning. A reminder that Jewish knowledge is, continuous, and the wisdom of Torah is read again and again throughout our lives. When we take the Torah out, we will have another tradition, which is candy. Oh, the kids know about this tradition. So we have a couple volunteers who are going to assist Davi, that you will receive this candy, not to play with or eat at this moment. You're going to kind of put it in your pocket. But after she completes her bat mitzvah portion and studies, we will gently toss the candy in her direction to, this microphone's a little skittish. We'll gently throw the candy in her direction to wish her sweetness in life. So, hope you got every other word and you know what to do. When the candy comes to you, right in the pockets. And when it is time to gently pass the candy and toss it in her direction, Cantor has devised a very subtle signal. Very subtle. Very subtle.
You gotta wait for that.
That's right. Please come forward. All right, you ready? Bayla?
Ein kamacha v'Elohim Adonai, vein kemasecha, malchutecha malchut kol amim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch, le'am v'ed, Adonai oz le'amoitein, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom, av harachamim heitiv avirtzoncha et Zion. Tivnei Chamot Yerushalayim, Tivnei Chamot Yerushalayim, Kivecho levad batachnu, Melech Elram v'nisa Adon Olamim.
Into our hands, O God, you have placed your Torah, to be held high by parents and children, and taught by one generation to the next. Whatever has befallen us, our people have remained steadfast in loyalty to the Torah. It was carried into exile in the arms of parents, that their children might not be deprived of their birthright.
And now I pray that you, Bayla, will always be worthy of this inheritance. Take into its teaching into your heart, and in turn, pass it on to your children and those who come after you. May you be a faithful Jew, searching for wisdom and truth, working for justice and peace. Thus you will be among those who labor and bring nearer the day when God shall be one and God's children shall be one.
Hava Godel Eloheinu Tenu Chavod LaTorah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and render honor unto the Torah.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromema shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol bashamayim uvaretz, ki chol bashamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'amid naseh lechol lerosh.
You may be seated as candy quickly and gently is passed around. Parents may want to help. All right. All right. So those of you who have never seen the Torah up close, now is your opportunity. Come on up. If you happen to pass by the candy passer outers, get your candy on your way up. If you've never seen the Torah up close, come on. No matter what your age, stage of life, faith, tradition, up you go. You pass by those candy pass outers, get your candy. I knew we had some bashful ones here. Can I ask you questions? Okay, good. All right, do you guys want to come around here so you can see a little better? You can pull out the footstool, might help them. They're right there, go ahead. Okay. All right, well, thank you all for being brave. All right, let's see how much you remember. All right, what do I have right here? The Torah, right. And we have right there, I think I counted, 6 Torahs? 5? 5 are here. Why do we have 5 Torahs? No, because 5 were donated. You guys missed that whole religious lesson. I don't know what happened to you. We actually have a 6th in another part of the building, and then we're having a 7th commission, so I'll have fun with that. So, 5 books of Moses, first 5 books of the Jewish Bible. The first 5 books of the Jewish Bible, which is what Christians might call the Old Testament, right? So, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, exactly. So here we are. Let's take a look. And you can see that this Torah, as I mentioned, and you can get a little closer, it's almost to the end because Jews throughout the world read the same portion, and it is gently rolled each week to reveal the portion of the week. In Orthodox synagogues, they read the entire Torah portion, which takes about 45 minutes to an hour. We read selected verses, and then we keep winding it ahead. Well, the person who writes a Torah is known as a scribe, or sofer in Hebrew. And a scribe can live anywhere in the world, usually maybe Jerusalem or Sfat, 2 holy cities in Israel. Ours happens to live in the holy city of Miami, Florida. He is going to be visiting us on September 21st. If you happen to live in town, you are cordially invited to meet him because he will be here for the kickoff celebration of the fact that we have commissioned a brand new Torah for the first time in the history of our congregation. So, 5:30, September 21st, you're cordially invited, and you'll meet the scribe, and you'll see exactly how a Torah is written. But for today, my explanation must suffice. So take a close look. Hold this right here. Thank you. Okay. So as you look close, you'll see that the Torah is written in a special language. What language do you think it is?
Hebrew.
Hebrew, that is right. Do you know how to read Hebrew? But how do you know it's Hebrew? What else would it be, Rabbi, right? Exactly, but it looks Greek to you. But no, it's Hebrew. So take a look real close. You can see that there's the end of a paragraph. You can see, if you look real close, that some of the letters have little crowns on them to beautify it. You can see that it is worn because this Torah is about 175 years old. The little half-size Torah is about 250 years old. So Torahs can be used a long time. Written by hand, it takes them about a year using a feather quill pen. And you can see that there are little lines just to keep the line straight. And then when it's all done, it's sewn together, section by section. So now, do any of you have any questions before the test? It is written on parchment, the hide of a kosher animal. Anyone else have a question? Yeah. If it gets torn, if the scribe, there are scribes who do restorative work, that's what this scribe does. If he can patch it up somehow, he will. And if not, they take that section out and they have to rewrite it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a special ink that they mix a little bit. There's a secret formula, if you will, that they know, and they mix it up, and just enough to use for the time that they are working on it. And they do it bit by bit. Yeah. Any other questions? This one, how old did I say it was? About 175 years old, this one, yeah. A couple years older than me. All right, you guys, thank you for being brave. Thank you for being great. No rest for the wicked, and I think I moved it a little, so make sure you can see the spot. Take a look. I know. Not much, I didn't move it. Just you open it up and just take a little look. Okay. Didn't get moved that much, did it? Okay. All right, well, thanks for being brave, allowing me to share with you a little bit about the Torah. And for those of you who are of the Christian tradition, think about it for a moment. Jesus was Jewish. He didn't have a bar mitzvah. It wasn't invented yet. Custom's only about 500 years old. But being an educated Jew, perhaps even a rabbi, he would have read from a Torah scroll. Same Torah scroll. It's been around in our tradition since the time of Moses. Over 3,000 years, this custom has been done from scribe to scribe to scribe. All right, Cantor, we have a tradition of calling up aliyot to the Torah, so I'll leave it to you because it's your handwriting.
All right. Ta'amdu, Deanna, D'Arkland and Cassidy Wertheimer, Rishon. We call forward friends, Deanna and Cassidy, to do the first Aliyah, and Torah reader is Chloe Perez.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Shovtim v'shotrim, titen lecha bechol sharecha, asher Adonai Elohecha, noten lecha lishvatecha, v'shavtu et ha'am mishpat sedech, titen lo mishpat lo. V'saliv tagir panim veloticha shochad ki hashochad ya'aver einei chachamim v'salev tivrei sadikim.
haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata betuchenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Okay, go ahead and go to that side. Huh? Where's she still?
Where's the second card?
Ya'amdu, Scott and Nancy Silber, Shani. We call for the second Aliyah, grandparents Scott and Nancy Silber. And Torah reader is Madison D. Arkland.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarak.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarak leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher barkar banu mikol ha'amin. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Sedek, sedek, tirdof, leman tehiyeh, ve'yarash ta'a et ha'aretz, asher Adonai Elohecha, noten lach, lo tita lecha, asher rocha kol eitz, Eitzel mizbach Adonai Elohecha, asher ta'atelah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Toret emet. V'chaye olam nata betokenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and go to that side. You guys can sit down. Ya'amdu, Dylan and Shannon Martin, Shlishi. We call for the third Aliyah, parents Dylan and Shannon. And our Torah reader is Magnolia Wertheimer. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Velo takim lecha matzeva asher sanei Adonai Elohecha lo tizbach la Adonai Elohecha shor vaseh asher Adonai v'mum kol devara ki toavat Adonai Elohecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata betohenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yeah, sure. Go to that side. Tamod, 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 Bat Sheva, Bat Zisel, Hamaftir, Hazaka, Hazaka, Hazaka. Okay, you won.
Yes. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen. Ve'anu ve'amru yadeinu lo shafhu et hadam hazeh ve'eninu lo ra'u kaper lemcha Yisrael asher patita Adonai ve'al titein dam naki bekerev amha Yisrael v'nikaper lehem hadam ve'ata teva'er hadam naki mikerbecha ki tayaseh hayashar b'nei Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natalanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen.
Mazel tov. Good job. Let's stand with your mom and dad. Congregation, please rise.
Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe. Vizot HaTorah. Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe. Vizot HaTorah. Livnei b'nei Yisrael. Vizot HaTorah. Al pi Adonai bi'ad Moshe. Vizot HaTorah. Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe. Vizot HaTorah. Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe. Vizot HaTorah.
Please be seated.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hana'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'invi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Anohi, hu, menachem hem, mi'at vatiri, me'enosh yamut, umi ben adam, hatzir yinaten, Vashtika Adonai Osecha Note Shemayim Veyosed Aharetz Vadvached Tamid Kol Hayom Mipnei Hamad Hametzik Kaasher Konein Lechat Pati V'hayo Hamad Hametzik Mihar Zoeh Lechata Velo Yamut Lashachad Velo Yesar Lachmaha Ve'anochi Adonai Elohecha Raga Hayom Ve'hamu Galav Adonai Zevaot Shemo. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Zor Kol Ha'olamim Zadik Bechol Hadorot Ha'el HaNe'eman Ha'omer Ve'oseh Hamdaber Kayem Shekol Devarav Emet V'Tzedek Al HaTorah Ve'al Havodah Ve'al Hanvi'im Ve'al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh Shenatata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu L'Kedusha V'Limnucha L'Chavod U'Tifaret Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu Chanachmu Dimla U'Varchim Ota Yitbarach Shem Hai B'Ficho Hai Tamid Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu, yehelanu.
I got the candy at yours, no double tosses.
Lecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu. Lecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu. Lecho Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu. Lecho Yisrael, Mazel Tov.
Cantor, I don't think this group has ever seen candy before.
Never.
Never.
They're doing their warm up before
Never.
Halloween.
That's right. Never. It's Halloween. Halloween.
I'd be scared if they came to my door.
Halloween. All right.
Page 374, we rise to return the Sefer Torah to Aron HaKodesh. Eitz Chaim Hila Machazikim Ba V'Tom Checha Meushar Deracheha Darchei Noam V'chol Netivoteha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chadish Chadish Yameinu Chadish Yameinu Kekedem. Because I don't want to turn my back on the Torah. Always learning.
Please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion is from the book of Deuteronomy, and it's called Shoftim. It's a very important part of the Torah, focusing especially on the subject of justice. Imagine living in a world of 1 million people, a world in which everyone was a former slave. They were told what to do. They didn't have to think for themselves. Well, now the Israelites are free. Moses is only one person and does not have the time to make decisions for every problem that might take place. So Moses instructs the people to create a government with judges to help. Justice, justice shall you pursue, says the Torah. These famous words ring true today, that justice does not come to us, we have to pursue it. One important part of the justice system that we have to pursue is having the right to vote. Choosing the right leaders can be very important, and everyone should have the chance to do so. But what many people don't realize is not everyone is able to vote easily. Many younger voters with low-income salaries have challenges voting because of having to take time off work and pay for childcare. That's what leads me into my Mitzvah project, Spread the Vote. This organization I chose helps people who don't have easy access to voting. This nonprofit organization assists people in getting IDs for voting, make easy-to-understand guides to educate people, and helps people make a plan of how and when to vote. Although I'm not old enough to vote yet, I'm very excited to do so and be part of our democracy. I want everyone to have the chance to participate in our justice system. Having a bat mitzvah has been very important to me and has given me a chance to be part of my Jewish community that I want to continue. I plan to take part in being a madricha in religious school and be in tribe to learn more about Judaism. I also can't wait to go back to Camp Mountain High, a Jewish sleepaway camp where I felt very connected and safe to be Jewish. I would like to thank Rabbi Axelrod for inspiring me with all your speeches to make a difference. I appreciate Cantor Hutchings for all you do to make Judaism fun throughout the year. Thanks to the accompanist Eddie Birch for playing the piano tonight, and Lee for just being amazing. I couldn't have done it without Miss Lois, who worked with me to learn all my prayers. I also really want to recognize my mom, who helped me learn prayers, write my speech, and took time to plan this day. Dad, thanks for making me laugh when I got frustrated and needed a cheering up. I also want to give credit to all my friends and grandparents for helping me and sharing everything they know about their bar and bat mitzvahs. I can't forget my sister for being there and putting up with me all this time. Even though we fight, I will always love you. Thank you to my friends and family for traveling so far to be with me today. Thank you everyone for helping me get here today. Dear God, thank you for allowing me to be here and have this amazing day with friends and family. I appreciate all you've done for the justice system and protecting our people. I can't wait to learn more and share all I know. Amen.
Amen. All right, please join me in wishing Bayla a hearty mazel tov. All right, let me see that hand. It's not shaking anymore. There we go. She is so relaxed now. Took just an hour. You're all relaxed.
Yeah.
That's right. You want to do this next week?
Sure.
Oh, you heard it. They usually say no, but she is so relaxed now. She is ready to do it again next week. And you know what? You do a good job. So we look forward to seeing you in religious school and celebrating with you tonight. Well, you had probably one of the most important Torah portions, Shoftim, and hopefully you'll never forget it, because we talked a little bit about the history of the Torah, that it goes back to the time of Moses, 3,000 years. And we forget that many of the traditions of our country stem all the way back to the Bible. And this Torah portion is the notion of the establishment of the courts. Started off with Moses trying to make all the decisions, and his father-in-law came and said, "You're going to wear yourself out. You need to do something." And eventually in the Torah it explains how that meant that in the tribes there were leaders of the tribe, there were sub-leaders, and so forth. So justice was something that is talked about in your Torah portion. And it talked about justice in a very narrow way, but also in a broad way. Because even in times of war, there's rules. And it says that if you happen to be at war with another country and you come to fruit trees, you can't touch them. They are as if they are a human life that is sacred. The thought being that when the war ends, if you destroyed the water supply and the food supply, it might help temporarily defeating your enemy, but in the end, the entire world would suffer. So there's justice, there's rules, there's a sense of what is right, and what is wrong. And that's what your Torah portion is all about. Guess what? That's what a bat mitzvah is all about too. Because, well, more and more as you grow older, your decisions become your own. And maybe there'll be a time you're in college and there'll come time for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Do you go to services or not? It's Hanukkah. Do you light the candles? It's Passover. Do you attend the Seder? All these questions will be more and more up to you and how you will carry on these traditions. I look at your family. We have many generations now who have been involved and inspired. I look at your mom, and who do I see? A little bit of you as she stood before me many years ago. And so we say the door by door from one generation to the next. And we can't say that unless the next generation reaches their hand out, takes that yod, holds it in their hand, and says, "It is now mine." So as you read from that Torah, you became a part of that Torah. Think of the last couple hundred years, all of the students, mainly male students up into the last few decades, who read from that Torah. But now you add your special spark, your voice to that Torah, and its values, its traditions become your very own. And so as I look out at your tutor, Miss Lois, who's tutored so many students, and the cantor who worked with you, and really your entire family, we are so grateful for all that you have done for the Torah, especially your dad, who has rescued me on many a bike trip, okay? I wouldn't be here without your dad, okay? So I'd like to ask the congregation to please rise as we bestow upon you the blessings of our people. That's the truth. You gotta save me like twice. So you stand here, or many a student has stood before. Each one of you with your unique footprint, your own sense of heart, your own sense of right and wrong. The one thing that you all share in common, that is a connectedness to the Torah, to the traditions of our people. It could be a moment in time, or it could be the planting of a seed that grows with time. A branch, leaves, you, the trunk of the tree that extends out to a family that you will have someday and the generations after you. So Cantor and I are so proud of you. And we chant and we say these words said since the time of Moses. Should you bow your head? We ask God's grace upon you.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May the Lord God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May the Lord God cause the light of his countenance to shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yis Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the Lord God grant you long life, happiness, and peace.
And we thank God for bringing us to this joyous moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה, לזמן הזה.
Blessed are you, O eternal Lord God, ruler of the universe, who's kept us alive and sustained us, allowed us to reach this sacred moment of Bayla's bat mitzvah. We say amen. You may be seated. Won't be a ner tamid bat mitzvah without the bestowing upon you of gifts, a big smile. So we have a tzedakah box, we have candles, and we have the magical special Mensch Club pen. So Barney, you're going to represent the Board of Trustees too? No? Oh, come on. I thought you were with Sisterhood. Okay. Sorry, Barney, you've been replaced. Here you go.
I had to write this because I wouldn't get through without it. Okay, Bayla, I have had the privilege of knowing you since before you were born. Your mom and I have been friends for 25 years. When we met, we were at a Jewish sleepaway camp, and to watch you and Maddie go off to sleepaway camp this past summer, brought such joy to us, and watch the start of your friend journey come full circle. To watch you grow into this beautiful and confident young lady has been such a privilege. I am so proud of you and can't wait to see what the future holds for you. On behalf of the board, I present to you a tzedakah box. You are the future for sustaining the next generation of Judaism and showing your children how to give back to the world. And we love you, and Mazel Tov.
Hi, Bayla. On behalf of the Little Sister organization, we just wanted to say that we're very proud of you and that we're especially proud of who you are as a person and who you're becoming as a Jewish adult because of the passion that you bring to everything that you do, whether it's your school, whether it's NCL, or whether it's here at the temple. So, Mazel Tov, Bayla.
I second that, yes. On behalf of Sisterhood, we'd like to present you with candlesticks so you can continue with your traditions. It's been great getting to know you, and you have participated in Sisterhood events already. We love seeing you around, and we cannot wait to see what's yet to come. So, Mazel Tov.
It's a family affair. Mazel Tov, Bayla. On behalf of the Men's Club, we're going to present you with a long-standing tradition of the Men's Club as we pass out a pen. And it might seem like it goes back to a bygone era to use a pen, but when you think about using a pen, you sign all these fantastic documents like your bat mitzvah certificate that you just signed with an ink pen. And one of the neat things about writing by hand is that you get a personal touch to it. Your handwriting is like a fingerprint, yours and yours alone. And so I know that you think that you're done here with a bat mitzvah and all of your prayers and celebration, well, till we get to the party, but that's in a couple minutes. First, I want to give you a challenge. And the challenge would be that you find somebody in the audience, somebody that's your family, and choose to write them a letter and see if they don't write you back. Because the letters that I have from my family, when I come across them, it means so much because their handwriting is theirs and theirs alone. And you can hear their voices again when you see their handwriting. So please do take a moment and try to write that letter. Mazel Tov.
They like to save the best for last. That's me. No, I'm just kidding. So one of my traditions for probably a decade now has been to give the bat mitzvah her very own kippah. And the reason, I'm going to start giving them to the bar mitzvahs too. Not these ones, but I feel bad that the bar mitzvahs get left out. But the reason it's special for a bat mitzvahs is, as the rabbi pointed out, that it's only been a few decades that a woman can read from the Torah scroll itself. Before that, it was about 100 years that we've had, of exactly 100 years, of a bat mitzvah tradition. And even for most of that first half, they had to read Haftorah only, not from the Torah. And so the glass ceiling, so to speak, broke, and we have the ability and the privilege, and if we want to take on the obligation of the Torah, we can, which is quite an honor. And in that, it was also tradition for men to wear a head covering, a kippah. But in modern day, if a woman chooses, she can wear one too. And it doesn't have to be boring like a man one. It can be beautiful and sparkly. So this was the one that I gave to you, wore it last night, and then you have a beautiful one from your mom. So as you are quickly learning, you have to have a wardrobe of kippot to match your outfits. And I hope that you will don it every time that you do anything Jewish in your life, and it reminds you that you have accomplished this and that you are a wonderful Jewish young woman. And as the rabbi said also, will you do this next week? And you said, sure, you can't because Sarah is. But I think it's an important thing that you said yes, because the Purim spiel and all the things that you've done to get involved with our community, I hope that you continue to share your voice with this community and grow and learn and be part of everything that we are, and that we can be a part of you and you can be a part of us. So I'm really grateful to have you on this bima tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We begin to conclude our service with the Aleinu on page 586.
Okay.
Begin to conclude.
Do I do?
You can turn off. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 598 is our Kaddish prayer. If you'd like to say the name of anyone who has passed away in recent days or whose yortzeit, anniversary of death, is this week, please simply say their name. Think of my mother, Marge Axelrod. We join together in Kaddish. Yit Gadol, Yit Kadash, Shmei Rabbah, Bialma, Divrach, Hirute, Viamlich, Malchute, Bachayachon, Viomechon, Chayedechol, Be Israel, Magalav, Zman, Kari, Vimru, Amen. Yehishmei Rabbah, Mevorach, Le'olam, Omei, Maya, Yit Barach, V'yishtabach, V'yit Ba'ar, V'yit Ramam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Taleh, V'yit Talal, Shmei Dekusha, Barichu, Le'ela, Min Kol, Birchata, V'shirata, Tush Bechata, V'nechemata, Damiram Bialma Vimru Amen. Yehishlam Araba Min Shamai V'chayim. Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael Vimru Amen. Oosei Shalom Bimramav. Hu Ya'asei Shalom. Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael Vimru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say Amen.
Don't sit quite yet. We're going to try to do something here. We're going to try to gather around and make it a little special as we conclude with our very special Havdalah service. So I'm going to challenge you, see if we can make some kind of large circle in this front area and up onto the bima.
I'll let you in on a little secret about how one should pray the sunset prayer. It's a juicy bit of praying, like strolling on grass. Nobody's chasing you, nobody hurries you. You walk towards your Creator with gifts in pure, empty hands. The words are golden, their meaning is transparent. It's though you're saying them for the first time. If you don't catch on that you should feel a little elevated, you're not praying the sunset prayer. The tuner is sheer simplicity. You're just lending a helping hand to the sinking day. It's heavy responsibility. You take a created day and slip it into the archive of life, where all our lived out days are lying together. The day is desperating with a quiet kiss. It lies open at your feet while you stand saying the blessing. You can't create anything yourself, but you can lead the day to its end and see clearly the smile of its going down. See how whole it all is, not diminished for a second, how you age with the day that keeps dawning, how you bring your lived out day as a gift to eternity.
Ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la you can hear ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil bein kodesh lechol hamavdil bein kodesh lechol ya la 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 Now we listen for the separation of sacred back to our secular week. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And we close with our prayer of peace for Israel and all the world, Oseh Shalom.
Yosei Shalom Bimroma. Yosei Shalom Aleinu. Be'akol Yisrael. Imru, Imru, Amen. Yosei Shalom. Yosei Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Be'akol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'akol Yisrael.
Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'akol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom,
Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'akol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu,
Be'akol Yisrael, V'yimeru.
Amen.
Shavua Tov, everyone, and we dismiss you to the party.
Is my
So real quick, everyone, if you are staying for the reception, which I hope everyone is, it's in the other room right behind us. It is a Friends theme, and we invite all of our friends to be a part of it. I hope you'll have some drinks and some food. If you pass into the reception area and then out to the patio, we have caterers and plenty of food. I know your stomachs are growling a little bit after the long service, so welcome, enjoy the drinks, and we will see you in there. Thank you.